Okay. Okay, so okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. Wendy would need to link this up with the other one, so this page might come back, but at least you can see me here while we go. Okay, so just let me know if you can hear me there. There's something wrong with Chrome, and so every time I try to do it with Chrome, you guys can't hear me. Okay, if one of you can hear me, then a few of you can hear me. I'm going to go find it. Bam, here we go. Where's this thing? Okay, I'm going to answer these questions. This is for part C of chapter 1, which is pages 34 through 40, as broken down and done up here. And now you'll be able to see me on both pages because Wendy just handled it. So either way, you guys will be able to see me. Okay. There's some blockages we can resolve in acupuncture. Is acupuncture just a physical release? Is it applied kinesiology or more emotional component linked? Does applied kinesiology look more to emotional component linked to the physical? Acupuncture is way more than just a physical release. It can change your life. It's mind, body, spirit at its fundamental finest. I've seen people with lifelong issues resolve with the use of acupuncture. So I wouldn't take that stuff lightly, and I think it's really important so that you know that if you find a good acupuncturist, you can really work through all kinds of stuff. Much more so, I think, than AK. I'm not even a big fan of AK. By the way, hit refresh on your page, and you'll be able to see me on the original page as well. So do I think do I suggest people get acupuncture to assist with their path to become more enlightened? Absolutely. It helps you get out of your own way. It's just powerful medicine. And what do you look for in an acupuncturist? You want to look for someone who wants to take the time, who reads your pulse, looks at your tongue, talks to you about what your underlying fundamental issues are, and then asks you to engage with them in the process of helping unlock your energy. You know, if you're going to them to have them just kind of pop in a Band-Aid and you know, make you addicted to their treatment, you might as well be addicted to Xanax. You want someone who's going to work with you and co-conspire towards your health. There's no outside versus inside, as we are all one. Are you saying that we're all the same essence, dog, ant, or just a different Earth suit? Listen, we're all part of this whole trajectory of life, and so we are all connected to that. We're closer in our connection in terms of how our consciousness works with other humans in Earth suits, if you will. But life is life, and we share that commonality in a very beautiful way. And so that is, it's the fundamental basis of pretty much all esoteric teaching. We're all part of some fractal, being part of a replica of a larger whole. We all have different DNA, so explain how our fractals can be exact replicas. Perhaps I don't understand fractals, you can explain. A fractal is, any part of a fractal can emanate the whole. So you'll see that with a hologram, you'll see that in the Fibonacci sequence, you'll see that in how life gets laid out. And so this fractal of life, if you look at 99% of our DNA, it's basically the same as all the other life form, preceding us on this planet, and those variations are very subtle and very small. And so it's really kind of like the Akashic Records. And so the connection we have with all of life comes through that information highway that's encoded in our DNA that we all share. And so it's a very interesting time to be alive as we're starting to, understand the encoding of DNA and really understand, potentially the manipulation of it. What does that do to us, and how does that help us direct our future? So, no, those questions, those answers remained unanswered. Let me make sure y'all are tracking with me here. Lainey, I have a great acupuncturist in the OC that we're bringing into our own clinic. So here's the number. She'll start next month. Her name is Dixie Wall, and she's going to start with us. And I had her treat me, and I like her, and she's great, and she knows her functional medicine. And so I'm working to get her in to see our patients, because you know what? It's hard to find good people. So I can't see your guys' questions now. I'm back to the discussion. Once we learn to read the signs in our energy fields, we open ourselves up to a vast inner language of communication within our bodies. There's always been going on under the radar, but which we've been mostly blind to. Can I explain how to read these signs? Once you start seeing it, you start seeing it. Once you start feeling it, you start feeling it. And once you start thinking about it, it starts to go away. And so learn to listen and learn to trust your intuition, and then start validating that against your experience of life. And you'll start to feel which intuitive blips are true and which are coming from your mind and are a figment. And once you get enough practice, your discernment will allow you to understand the difference. Once we learn to finally listen to this internal language, we begin to complete a powerful circuit of personal communication and connection to the source. Please elaborate. They're all just like players in a symphony, but the symphony is being orchestrated by a conductor, and that conductor doesn't have a face, but somehow everything is in step with the harmony, or to the beat of that drum, if you will. And so you'll see how all the life around you is working in unison when you've connected to the language of the wind, when you've listened to the hum of the earth, when you've connected with the energy of the source. You'll see that all the life around you is resonating and is in tune with that. And usually the only creatures in the entire sphere that are out of sync with that are humans walking around looking at their phones and being idiots. So, and once you connect with that, then you'll see just how far we've become in our connection with all the life around us, and how this entire ecosystem of life, of which we're part, has a network of communication that we've severed ourselves from, and we could go back to in a very, very easy way once we realize what the game is about. I was too head-centered until I actually learned to see energy fields for myself. I think most of us are stuck here. Please elaborate on your experience to change the situation for yourself. Key recommendations, what I take away from this. I wanted to see energy really badly because I was in this environment where all these people were talking all this shit about all the stuff they could see and colors of auras and spinning vortices. And I was in my 20s, and and I was ranked #1 in my high school. I'm an achiever. So I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I see it? The more I tried to see it, the worse it got, until I finally gave up, and then I saw it, right? And so how much of it is you wanting to see it? How much of it is your own controlled dramas with judging yourself and feeling that you want to work towards something, to do something? And a lot of stuff we're talking about here falls into the realm of being and not doing. And so being head-centered will topple you here. You must be heart-centered so that you can understand this. Next question is similar. Is the key to enter your natural, excuse me. The key is to enter your natural state and allow life to work through you. Could Pedram elaborate on this? How is this done concretely? And when is something synchronicity, and when is it just joining the dots? How do you know what instincts to follow? You might say you'll know in your heart, but how do you get out of your head and into your heart? Great question. So the essence of this question is, how do you get out of your head and into your heart? And that means doing practice doing the practice long enough so that your head isn't trying to figure out the moves, and then the body is feeling the practice, and then you're in the practice. That's the first part. And then spending time meditating, spending time out of the head, watching the noise in the head and not reacting to it, will finally disconnect you from identifying with that noise in the head. So, the unfortunate answer I'm going to give you on this one is usually not the one people want to hear, which is you got to do the freaking work. You've got to do the training, and the training will help you step into your power and step into your heart and step into your intuition. That's all the Tai Chi and the Qigong and the meditation. All the assets that I've loaded in there that are powerful teachings are there to help you move from head to heart, but you got to do them. Does the desire to feel better actually keep us from feeling better? Absolutely. If you talk about the classic Buddhist conundrum of aversions and cravings, the aversions are, hey, I don't want to feel this way, make it stop. The cravings are, hey, I really want to feel better. Why am I'm suffering because all I want to do is feel better. Why can't I feel better? Why can't I feel better? And really what you need to do is just do some Qigong, eat well, get back into your better personal relationships in life, start doing all the things that would make you feel better, and start sleeping more, and stop being attached to the outcome, just enjoying the way, and then eventually you'll feel better, but sometimes it takes people a while to feel better. And so being attached to that is definitely going to create suffering. Can we absorb other people's energies and emotions and get trapped in our bioelectric field? If so, how do you make that distinction? How do you protect yourself? Used to be a social worker, felt an emotional sponge, and how could this have been prevented? Another great question. How can we absorb people's energy? How do we absorb people's energy, and how do we avoid such folly? The fact that we absorb other people's energy is just the fact that we are in this living soup called reality, and that everything around us rubs off on us and really kind of gets us to be aware of itself in the environment. If you're walking through the woods and you sense a predator, it is life or death. If you're walking through a mall and you sense a weird energy, you just think there's something wrong with you and you get a coffee. And so those instincts have been diverted and shunted to a place of kind of irrelevance, because we live in a place that's actually safe. and nothing can be closer or further from the truth. In one way, it's closer because we are safer. I mean, you're not getting pounced by a lion. In another way, you're energetically polluting your field and picking up anxiety and stress and trepidation and panic and all the different things that boot up for someone who's not aware of those things. So again, I hate to sound like a broken record on this, but that's what Qigong does, is it cleanses your energy field. The promise of Qigong is that it helps restore your field back to its original state, which is it helps cycle. It's like priming a pump. It helps move clean water through a dirty sewage system, right? And so as we walk through and we do this, we should constantly be recirculating our qi and drawing energy up from the earth and exhaling the energy that's no longer necessary and needed by us. And one of the things that I do for this is, yes, you set up a force field, right? I will set up, I'll kind of talk about this in layers of elaboration here because for some of you this might be too much. But when you set up your microcosmic orbit, you're breathing in, you can breathe up, you breathe energy up the back of your body and down the front of your body. What that does is it sets up like this hamster wheel to offset any energy that's coming at you. So it literally acts like a force field and blocks out the energy that is in your environment that is trying to penetrate and work its way in. So that's one powerful way of doing it. What I like to do is constantly like spin my field and have it working throughout the day. And if I find myself in a situation where I'm surrounded by a bunch of people and things are, doing whatever they're doing, and I want to kind of cleanse myself of that, then I'll breathe down to my dantian and then spin that energy field around from the base of your chakra, your root chakra, up your spine to your crown, and then down the front of your body. And you do that for a few cycles, and then just allow that to wash any energy that you don't want touching you, your body, your mind, your psyche, down into the earth, and literally see that energy go into the earth and have it become fertilizer, pushing up flowers in the space around you so that you're actually alchemizing that. A little bit more advanced way of doing that, which I also do, is I'll create little sentinels, like thought orbs, where I'll just create a ball of energy, breathe in, and then basically breathe life into it, and then breathe a thought form, which is protect me from energies that are not necessary, protect me from energies that are dark, protect me from energies that I don't need in my field, and then I'll exhale that thought into the orb, and then literally give it life, and then task it to stay around my energy field and police and protect me. That's a little bit more advanced, but we use that in psychic warfare. We use that in a lot of the things that I learned, remote viewing and all the crazy stuff that I've been involved in my life. And that's been a very, very powerful means to an ends, which has kept me, I've been in a lot of crazy situations and done exorcisms. So that's that answer. I've run out. I have a couple minutes left on this call. So if you have any specific questions for me beyond what I've answered, let's go there. And I'm looking at what he's saying now. Cool. Yeah. So next week we're doing chapter 2, part A, which is pages 42 to 52 of Rise and Shine. Covers the versions and cravings. This is when we're getting into the meaty stuff. So if you have any questions, use the Facebook message system, find Lee, and basically talk about it there. And then I'm open to whatever questions that you have. Obviously, I wrote the book, and I'm happy to kind of tease that out a little bit. And again, it really helps for y'all to have read the book, read at least the chapters that we're on, so that we could have kind of deeper dive questions going in instead of kind of surface questions. Not to say that there haven't been any here, but not to say there have been any here, but just we want to jump into a deeper dive. That's where we would do it. And so and again, thank you so much, Lee, and whoever else was helping on this part here, because it's nice to have the questions in front of me, and then we can just jump in and do our thing. So I'll hang out for another minute and see if there's any other questions here. I lost you guys. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Yes. Well, listen, it is work, but it's personal growth. It's, as far as I'm concerned, is what my Qigong Qigong and Kung Fu teacher has always said, and I don't know who Guest 4437 is, but a gong is your work. Kung Fu means hard work, and to do work is to understand life. Life is work, and as you work through your stuff, then you're not afraid of work, and then life becomes really cool because then you're capable of doing all kinds of wonderful things. People go, oh my God, how does he do that? How does she do that? It's because you're not afraid of work, and the work that most people are afraid of is looking under the rug of all the stuff that they've brushed aside. So that's what we're really jumping into next week, is the work we need to do to get out of our own way, and that's really the only game in town. And so like I said, I don't make the rules, but I know that if you play that game, you will have lost 50 pounds of spiritual weight, and you will be in a much better position to run your life with ease, grace, and much more happiness. Cool. All right, I'm going to go hang out with the familia. It is I'm going to work with Wendy. It's questionable whether or not next week's call is going to happen on Wednesday night, because I'll be at this retreat center up in Napa, and I have no idea about the connectivity yet, but I will be there Sunday night, so I'll let Wendy know, and then she'll let y'all know, and we'll go from there. But I'm glad I was able to do this one on the road. I will see you all, hopefully, if not next week, the following, and we will we'll take it from there. So thanks for being here. This is fun.